Ladies and gentlemen, we out here one more time and again. The Spot, one of your hosts, Yeezy Young,
And Mighty Young back for another one. The dynamic duo.
409.
Yes, sir. The dynamic duo's back at it.
We out here, and straight to the point. Yeah, let's just hop right in. That trailer where we see, oh, who's coming to Crystal's cell? Who's gonna get her out? It was Pops, and Pops is trying to get info, and Crystal basically straight up says, you know, yeah, no, Kanan thinks it was Rock, but it wasn't her, yada yada. And now Pops kind of thinks, okay, now I can take advantage of this situation easily. And oh, okay, so Kanan thinks it was Rock, huh? That's interesting. And then gives her a peanut butter jelly sandwich, and then basically just kills Crystal, just shoots her in the head. Because Pops got what she wanted. Now she knows she can blame this all on Rock.
Yep, this shit was so fucking sad. They wasted no time knocking Crystal off the board. Like you said, Pops just wanted to know what they know. They just wanted to know who they think did all this. And once Crystal said Kanan doesn't know, but he suspects Rock, even though it wasn't Rock, that's all Pops needed to know. And then she gave her last meal. At least she gave her something to eat. I guess.
Nah, she was starving. Yeah.
And then after that, she just, wow, that was heartless. That was cold. They took her. That was so fast. Who would have expected Crystal to go away that quick? Especially in the episode.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, Kanan's gonna save her, all that stuff. Like, nope. She is not. I was gonna say Sean's mom, but you know what I mean. Sean from OG Power. Kanan's son. So we know she's not that. But yeah, basically next scene is Kanan, Juke, and Rock all meeting at the diner, and that's when basically Kanan lays it all out. Crystal never made it to Delaware. I think you had something involved. Then Rock kind of reasonably stands and says, well, hold on a sec. Why would I tell you I saw her just before she went missing? Isn't that stupid?
True.
Like, why would...
It's crazy because I honestly believe, like, even before I seen that episode, I'm thinking she might do something to Crystal, if Crystal was acting like any type of way towards her. If Crystal was disrespectful with Rock, I felt like Rock would have done something, but the fact that Crystal was reasonable every time Rock came around, she gave her an answer. It's not like she didn't it's not like Rock pushed her around or anything. Crystal was firm whenever she would come around looking for Kanan, but it was just good to see Crystal's character grow from when we first seen her in season 3 to now. Like, they developed her character pretty solid,
And now she's gone. But unfortunately. But yeah, basically just there's more tension between the Thomas family, and it's just only gonna happen and be resolved once Kanan finds out the truth, unfortunately. And at this point, Lou and B Rilla are now interrogated by the police after what just happened to Kenyatta, and they kind of point out a lot of stuff like, yo, those weapons that we found on those people that are dead out in the street are linked to the same weapons of murder used at the house that had a robbery take place for your record label boss. Kind of coincidental, huh? And Lou and B Rilla's like, nah, wasn't us. We were here all day. We left. Kind of deal. And Lou teased it, you know what I mean? We, if you don't see shit, we don't say shit, you know what I mean? It ain't shit, that OG line from Power. Well, he kind of gave a little glimpse of that, so maybe he's the one who inspires that line for, Tommy and Ghost.
Nah, definitely. It's crazy. It's like, wow. It's like, yeah, Lou and B Rilla, I mean, the police isn't gonna get anything, but you see Imani, she's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, Lou said he was at her place, and late at night, even she knew that was bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, she knew, like, yo, this man's lying, trying to use my name. And cops kind of cleared up for now, but they're still investigating. So, like I said, they just found it very coincidental that they were just right outside the label. Even in my mind, though, I'm like, wouldn't a reasonable cop just think, while they try to rob the record label owner's house, they're probably trying to rob the record label or the studio himself? Like, they just piece that together.
It's just, wow, yeah, it's facts. It's just, yeah, the police, they can be very, very, they're hard to talk to, especially if they're just trying to figure something out, something that they don't know. They're going to be very difficult.
Very. But Early basically runs up on Marvin's like, yo, I knew you did that to Londell. I knew you took him out. And then Marvin kept denying it, but then eventually said, "So what if I did that shit, really? Fuck you gonna do about it?" You know what I mean?
Disrespected him like crazy. The way he said it, bro, he didn't show no remorse. He didn't feel no type of way. He could have talked to Early like more respectfully, but he doesn't give a shit.
No, Early just stood there. He just stood there and took it. And he had, what else was he gonna do, right? He just, oh man, he was not a happy camper.
Early's face was, it's like he couldn't do nothing, like you said. Like, he was so priceless, bro. Like, this man would look like a bitch.
And then basically Kanan pulls up on Crystal's dad and tries to see, yo, what the fuck, you know, in some school, I think, and he's like janitor, and Kanan's like, yo, where's Crystal? You know, well, I don't know, you know, her and her mom has some beef, blah blah blah, and then Kanan drops him, beat him up, saying like, I know you like to push up on Crystal, all that jazz, you know what I mean? So he puts some Tims in him, and then pause, and then basically says, yo, if Crystal's around, she comes around, let me know right away, and basically dips out.
Beat the brakes off of him.
Yeah, and then Lamar Jackson makes his debut in the world of power as E-Tone. Basically, David's enjoying himself at a nightclub, goes to the bathroom, and basically just gets clipped.
That shit was crazy. Yeah, man, that was a crazy,
E-Tone.
Crazy introduction to Lamar Jackson's character.
He's just ruthless, just a dude who just pulls up.
Yeah, definitely, man. And David, he's enjoying himself with his guy friend, you know, enjoying themselves. Sad way to go out if you're David, you know, especially after losing your brother. Sad way to go out. R.I.P. David.
Not for real, bro. I mean, he did what he did. I don't know. It is what it is, right? But basically, Kanan and Unique finally meet, as was in the trailer. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's gonna happen!" But basically, Kanan's just trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. His shit is famous, Crystal, all these people that are dropping, and Kanan, you know, they're teasing working together, basically. You know what I mean? Unique is just very, he's like, oh, I'm very honored, you know, your presence is awesome, you know what I mean? Like the young Kanan Stark.
That's facts. You know? Literally, like, that was probably one of the most anticipated meetups for the show. Like, when will we ever see Kanan and Unique discuss or have a conversation? And it was worth, I honestly believe it was worth the wait because they respected each other. You know, Unique was pretty much letting Kanan know that I don't got nothing against you. It's just between me and Rock, unless you want to get in it, you know, unless you have an issue with it. And then Unique is just up telling Kanan, like, all your people are getting dropped, you know, everybody sees it. Kanan is confused at how he knows about OC because he called OC, what do you call him again?
I don't know, what do you mean? I think he just called OC by name.
No, he said a different name, like Poindexter or some shit. And then he said, how do you know?
Oh, but yeah, he knew about OC's death. Yeah, he asked him about how he knows about OC's death. I mean, he's like, yeah, everyone knows about OC's death. You can see Unique kind of struggled there too. He's like, you know, everyone knows about that shit.
Yeah, he said Porter Rock, your girl. He said Porter Rock. I forgot what he called this nigga. I forgot what he called him.
But yeah, basically, when they meet him, Kanan basically tells Unique that he'd put Ronnie down. No fucks given. Straight to the point. Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because it's like, you know, kind of new. I always felt like Unique saw the whole thing go down. You know, he saw Kanan clip Ronnie and dip out. But yeah, basically Kanan ain't going to be used as a pawn in the game. He's just saying, yo, if you got a beef with my moms, you got a beef with her, not me. I don't give a fuck. Like, don't include me in your shit, you know, type of thing. He didn't say all that, but basically he's not trying to be a part of anything that is between Rock and Unique.
No, that's facts. It's like, wow. It's like, who would have ever thought, like, Kanan and Unique, like, they would have, it's like, I don't know, man. It's like Kanan is in a weird position right now. It's like earlier, if this were earlier seasons, Kanan would have been against Unique, especially after he killed Buck 20 and all that shit. We know Buck 20 was working with Unique. Unique wanted Kanan dead for that, but now we see, you know, like, they came a long way. Kanan's journey, Unique's journey, and they brought him to that point. And yeah, it's just, It's like we're not gonna see them really get into it unless their family's involved, you know. So I guess it's kind of like a wait and see what happens with Kanan and Unique. And I remember Unique called. He said Webster. That's what he meant. That's what I was saying when he's talking about OC. Remember he said, "Oh, Porter Rock, your girl, you Webster ass, the Webster ass nigga." He said, "How do you know about OC?" Because he called him Webster. So that kind of shows me if I was Kanan, I would have been like, okay, so he calling him by Webster. He had a relationship with him.
Yeah, no, just like the last episode. Remember, like I said, was Snaps asking him, "Who do you think took out your boy, Fame?"
Yeah.
It's like Kanan's not picking up. It's these little things that Kanan will eventually piece together.
I think so too, because right now he's getting played by everybody. It's crazy.
And then at this point, next thing you know, Early, back with Early again. Early pulls up to Stefano's crib, and I love this scene because it just like shows a kid going up to like a principal's like, "Stefano, I have to talk to you about Marvin Thomas." And then the scene just kind of cuts out. I'm just like, what a bitch. But then again, you know, what would you do if someone said, "Fuck you, go and do Early," and you had that information on Marvin? Fuck it, right? Fuck it.
That's facts. That's facts. Early, I guess he did what he had to do. I guess.
What was it that was it in Power or Wire? I can't remember if it was in Power. It's only it was Teresi. He said this. I think Teresi mentioned this. He said it's only snitching on people you're loyal to. You know, he told it to Tommy, I think. So in this sense, you know what I mean? In this sense, I guess Early isn't loyal to Marvin, right?
He could give a shit about Marvin. He could care less.
Nah, bro, he clipped his family. It's done. But basically, Detective Garcia basically just pulls up on Juke and Aisha. We kind of skipped a little bit, but yeah, Juke and Aisha kind of re-link up again and start talking and, you know, just, you know, Butter reuniting a little bit. And Garcia kind of just makes it awkward, but at the same time, yeah, he pulls up on Juke and Aisha leaves, and it was just good to see her again. You know, I'm pretty sure she's gonna make another appearance next season. But Lou makes a good point. I mean, not point good, but he goes up to Gelfin and says, "Yo, about the label, you know," he's like, "Amani's saying that she's having trouble working with you. What's going on?" Lou's like, "Ask her."
Didn't we forgot to talk? Imani, she had a conversation with Lou. She asked Imani. He asked her what she was doing. I mean, she asked Lou what he was doing that night, since Lou didn't want to tell her like that he went to her spot when he didn't. And then Imani, she broke things off with him. Correct?
Basically, yeah, and that's why Lou's just like, "Yeah, why don't you go ask her?" And Gelfin's just like, "I already did. She said she'd ask you." And basically, no straight answer. And Lou's just like, "I do street nigga shit." And
he said, "I don't do." He said, "I didn't." He said, "This isn't about me." He said, "Well, I don't know how the attack on my house and the incident that happened outside the studio is connected." And then Lou was like, "Again, that has nothing to do with me." Like Lou is denying it, but there's no proof, you know. So he's
denying it, but he literally doesn't really have anything to do with. Like, it's not about him. It's about Birilla, to be technical terms.
Yeah, so he's really telling the truth. I mean, technically, yeah, but. And then he's telling Gelfin, like, "I'm a street nigga. I do street nigga shit. I don't need this." Because Gelfin is he's not getting rid of Lou, but he's like trying to reassure, like, that the label is not gonna end up like Lou's former label. So Lou's just like, "Fuck this, man. This is not me." Yeah, and he just leaves the office. This shit was like, yeah, Gelfin is like, "You're never gonna make money as a street thug." And then didn't Lou say, "Depending on which street?" Yeah. Welcome back, Lou Thomas.
He's officially back in, and Stefano, Rock, and Marvin, basically they all meet. Keep in mind, this is after Early basically told him about what Marvin okayed. They're discussing David's death. Stefano's at this point, he's pissed, you know. He's just like trying to say, "Yo, you got nothing good going on, you know what I mean, in terms of your business. A lot of attacks are going on. You still haven't dealt with Unique. David's gone," you know what I mean? Just little bits and pieces, and Stefano's making a good point. And once, you know, he wants to talk to Rock one-on-one, Marvin leaves the room. Stefano tells Rock that, "Yo, Marvin okay to hit on Mob Howard Beach, you know, mobbed up man. You can't be doing that." And Rock's basically like, yo, you come from Marvin, you come from me, you come from family, yada yada yada. And Stefano kind of shrugs it off a little bit. He's just basically like, all right, well, keep in mind this is something that the five families and I will have to come to a discussion about.
And then
Which
remember he told Rock, Marvin came to me about taking your place.
exactly. And even she denies that then too. She's like, nope, not true.
Yeah, like Stefano is trying to build a fucking beef between Rock and Marvin. Like, it's just not gonna work. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Now,
focus on what's up.
Didn't Rock talk? And then after the meeting, we see Marvin. He's a little nervous, and then Rock just tells him. He early told him everything. He told Stefano everything, and then remember Marvin was like, "Fuck." She said, "You just fucked all this up." Again, I was like, "Damn."
Yeah, Marvin just keeps fucking things up, and I'm sure it only gets worse for him. But basically, then we have Phil Russo who's telling Unique, it's a casual scene, it's nothing big. He's just like, yo, don't do anything crazy, because he knows about David's death, and he's like, don't, because how it links up to Stefano and Rock and all them. And at this point, you gotta understand, Phil Russo's got his ears to the street. He just found out something in New York happened, and that's pulling back to him. He doesn't want it linked to him or Unique, so Unique's like, all right, I got you, boss. Keep the peace, even though it was him. So a little funny comedic scene, you know what I mean? They didn't give a fuck really, but yeah.
Bro, it's crazy.
What's up?
No, my bad. Keep going.
Well, I was just gonna continue with the scene. Did you, the next scene? Did you have something to add, or?
No, I just had a little bit of hiccups. My bad.
Okay. Well, yeah. Then basically, Be Real is mad that Lou left the label, and DSC saying, "Yo, if you got any work, let me know, cause I need something. You know, if we don't got any music coming in, we got nothing. Got to figure an alternative, cause Be Real's got a baby mama and a kid to take care about. You know, so it's definitely they got to keep using this character. Honestly, he's pretty solid character. I like it. Reminds me of Julio in a way from Power, kind of like he's that guy you can kind of rely on.
Yeah, especially like, and it's crazy because like Be Real was telling Lou like, man, you know, I thought we were gonna do this, do that, you know, and then, you know, you were supposed to help me with this, but at the end of it all, like Lou did get him out of jail.
Yeah, no, he did. Yeah, he was facing time still. Gelfin got some really high-end attorneys for him.
Yeah, so
quick.
Lou definitely was the reason why he was able to get out the pin, and also like it sucks because they didn't have no progress. Like that's the only thing that I felt was kind of sad. They didn't really get a chance to drop anything, right?
Nah, unfortunately, nothing.
They were spending all that time in the studio pretty much for nothing. That's crazy.
Man. Yeah, whatever. It is what it is, right? It kind of got annoying though, because yeah, they should have dropped something, you know, but gotta skip past that, I guess. And basically, at this point, this is where things get a little even more. Guys, if Marvin's just being Marvin, you know, he's looking after Amber, Gerald, the one who overdosed previous season, and basically the daughter of Gerald, and basically trying to figure out where she lives because, you know, she hasn't been to school in a while and all that. And basically, the employee or whatever gives him an address. Marvin pulls up to the address, finds foster parents that have been, what looks like abusing her, not abusing her really, but keeping her trapped or depraved or something like that, of food or whatever. And yeah, Marvin basically is attacked by the two white folk as he runs in the house, tries to save her, and he shoots him and tells Amber, it's like, yo, it was a white dude did it, wasn't me. And he dips the fuck out, and Amber doesn't say a word. You know what I mean? Like in that moment, she's just like, huh? Okay.
Bro, that scene was hella funny because remember when Marvin was looking for Amber? He said, I was a friend of her dad's. They're saying she was sick. He's just like, she's not here. She knows she's not feeling well. Get out of here. He's trying to get her out the house. Get him out the house. Knowing that these people are sick and they don't have any business taking care of this kid. And then you just hear her voice. Uncle Marvin!
Exactly.
Uncle Marvin!
Yeah, exactly. That's when he runs in like a hero. So, I mean, hopefully Amber goes well going forward, but we'll see about that. I mean, it is just another tale of Marvin just being there for some other people that, I mean, you know what I mean? He's just trying to be there, really. You know,
Best
he
dad,
made a pact.
best dad in the Power universe for sure. Marvin.
Yeah, for
Thomas.
real. And it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt when he eventually goes. But basically, Duke. At this point, Kanan can't find whatchamacallit, Crystal, and he refers to Juke because Juke says something like she can ask someone to get some information, and Kanan's like, go ahead, go do whatever you gotta do. And obviously, if he knew it was 5-0, he probably would have said no, but let's be real. 5-0's got the resources that Kanan does not, and you know, why not? You know what I mean? So Juke goes to Garcia, gets information. Garcia got information that apparently her body was found, or Jane Doe, but by the photo that was found in the stairwell, they knew Jukebox knew it was Crystal, and basically at that point, pretty much just confirmed. Now Juke knows Crystal's dead, and Kanan has yet to know, and that, you know, basically it's just that Snaps and Pops, they tell Kanan that like they have no information on Crystal, which I think they're just trying to stall. First off, they're just trying to stall on this consistently, but they basically say, yeah, we have confirmation that Rock killed Famous though, so they gotta have that reel in now. You know what I mean?
It's all sad because Kanan has not seen any of this. It's really like, wow, it's getting
They're
played
just
like
capitalizing. Yeah, Snaps and Pops are capitalizing off the fact that he's already mad at Rock and already thinks that she may have done Fame. The fact that Snaps and Pops, who actually do have police connections, confirmed that for real. Pretty big deal now.
Yeah, definitely. It's crazy. It's just wow. It's the bigger picture is just like, damn. Snap and Pops, they're pulling strings. They are pulling strings that nobody can see. I mean, people, they're just not thinking far ahead. Kanan not putting 2 and 2 together. It's just like, man, it's that whole storyline is all over the place.
No, it's a whole mess up right now because it's a whole mess. But we're gonna focus on Lou and Rock real quick because Lou's like, yo, I want in. And he made this, I like this moment when he was talking to Rock and explaining his reasoning. I liked it because he said that he didn't drink a lot because he didn't like what he was doing. He drank a lot because he enjoyed it too much. Which, imagine that. Imagine admitting you're so evil, you have to contain yourself the best you can to protect yourself from others. Like, that's what I felt he was admitting. He was trying to say, I'm a danger to society, but I do this for my family because I have to. You know what I mean? This is a way for me to tone it down, per se. You know what I mean? Not enjoy, just remember what it's like to be human. You know, not enjoy killing and doing this and that. And I like that. I liked it. It's reasonable. It's not stupid. You know, it's reasonable. Sometimes you can get so caught up in, you know, being a monster that maybe you just have to take a swig of that bottle, you know, to kind of drown it out. Forget about what you've been doing.
Also, like, killing D-Wiz, Scrap getting taken out, like, that shit ate at him.
Scrap's mom?
Scrap's mom, oh my goodness, I forgot about that. I forgot all about that.
Stupid, bro. And Marvin was outside. I think wasn't Marvin outside for Scrap's mom's death? Yeah, because he was trying to make sure. Yeah.
That season, Marvin, fucking up. That season was when Marvin was the smart one and Lou was the dumb one that season.
No, remember when he pulled up and was like, "You opened your fucking mouth to Scrap's mom's, man."
Yeah.
Like
he went to the studio. He went to the studio and Lou was like, man, you know, Lou was just like smiling, like he's literally treating it like a game.
No, so it was just thankfully for Malcolm Maurer, you know what I mean? He interjected that. Remember that when she was about to talk to the Chinese cop, explain everything. He's like, no. Yeah, so Lou was drunk and he admitted it. Well, this doesn't work out, you know what I mean? I liked how Howard saved him, kind of, so that was good. But yeah, Lou had to go get the job done. But yeah, back to it. He's in the game, and Rock says, "Okay, we got one more thing then we got to do real quick." And basically, Lou and Rock pull up to Unique's place of business, and the episode, that's where the episode ends. Just
episode 9.
Unique, Lou, Rock.
Back season 1, pretty much, like Rock, Lou, and Unique having those little meetings and shit about their blocks and stuff, about whose territory it is, whose territory is taking over. It's just, wow, this is bringing back OG Raising Kanan vibes.
What about Worrell? Unique's homie.
World? Oh, R.I.P.
Man, he it's not OG without him. I think he did. Yeah, at the end of season 2, right? The Italians when they were the Jersey people when they were running up all over. Yeah.
Yep. South people.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I always felt like when I first saw him in the show, I always felt like he would have been off eventually, right? But I more so saw him as a mainstay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Same. I thought he was gonna stay for a minute.
But yeah, that wraps up episode 9. According to the trailer too, everyone's been murking out about it. Oh my god, it's finally time! And Snaps and Pops introduces Kanan to someone, and we'll get to that because the internet blew up once that trailer dropped. And imagine it. Oh man, we're gonna discuss that. We're gonna discuss that in a sec here. But yeah, tune into that here in a bit.